This is the Wrestling Old Head. You have entered the portal of pro wrestling.
What the world is watching.
What's up, you guys? This is the Wrestling Old Head. You have entered the portal of pro wrestling, and we're about to talk about Liv Morgan's movie role and how that could change the landscape of the Hollywood industry. Let's talk about it. So Liv Morgan just got a big Hollywood role, and she's going to be out filming, if she hasn't been filming already. Like, I don't know the ins and outs of what's going on. All I know is that it was a backstage segment where Liv Morgan asked for time off to film a major motion picture. I don't know if this has already been filmed as far as the movie goes, or if it's in pre-production headed to post-production. I'm assuming that it has something to do with the Netflix deal with the WWE, which has, from the beginning that it started in January, you have seen an influx of Netflix stars converging with the WWE in some form, whether it's them live in attendance, some kind of a backstage segment, something that goes on after the cameras stop rolling that's going to be filmed for another date. Something is afoot with the blend, the connection between Netflix and the WWE. And so I don't know if this deal with Liv Morgan doing a major motion picture has anything to do to correlate with Netflix. But I'm here to talk about, and probably by the time this video comes out, we are probably going to know what it is that Liv Morgan's going to be a part of in Hollywood. But that's really not what I'm here to talk about. What I really want to talk about is this idea of a professional wrestling invasion of Hollywood. Now, I think it makes a ton of sense for wrestlers to transition into acting more because they're used to the long hours, long hours on set, like long hours in the ring, right? The training, the booking your own hotels and remembering lines that have changed on the fly. This is what professional wrestlers do, right? Like they're constantly in character. They have to stay on. Some people commit to being in character even when the cameras are not rolling. And this dates back to when I first started watching wrestling in the 80s and the 90s. When you would see guys out and about, they were in character the whole time. Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage were in their uniforms. They were riding around with cars with their faces on it. The Undertaker, and if he was out in public, he was the dead man. He was not Mark Calloway. This is the stuff that they did to preserve the integrity of professional wrestling at that time. And to this day, those students of the game still participate in that type of ritual of maintaining who their character is. One that comes to mind is Dominic Mysterio, who does a fantastic job of staying in character. Another one is Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Now, speaking of Maxwell Jacob Friedman from All Elite Wrestling, MJF as they like to call him, he is starring in a new Adam Sandler movie that should be coming out soon. I believe is going to be on Netflix, and it's called Happy Gilmore 2. I don't know how much of a role this is for MJF. I think you see him briefly in the trailer. I never saw him in the trailer, but I believe if you freeze it just right and you service the computer at a certain bit rate, you can really hone in and possibly see him in one of the scenes. He's got a very small role in the trailer. I don't know how much of a role he's going to have in the eventual debut of the movie when it premieres. So it'll be interesting to see what type of role he has, if he gets a chance to flex his acting chops, or if it's just a couple of one-liners here and there, and then they move on. One of his good friends is Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan in this Hollywood role, who knows what type of role that she's going to have and where that could lead for her down the block. I mean, we might be seeing like a little bit of a Gwen Stacy role for her in the new Spider-Man or something, she could be one of 15 actors in the Knives Out sequel. Who knows, she might be doing a rom-com with Batista. But all kidding aside, the point of this video is really to talk about actors and the change, the transition that you're going to start to see. You may start to see more professional wrestling, more professional wrestlers hit the acting circuit. And why not, right? Because the most charismatic guys and gals deserve that opportunity to be Hollywood stars. And professional wrestling and Hollywood have been synonymous for decades now. I mean, going back to Terry Funk's roles in you know, way back in the day. You've got Zeus, you know, the No Holds Barred movie that Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan wrote infamously in a hotel room. I mean, there are so many movies. Suburban Commando. I grew up with Suburban Commando, the Hulk Hogan movie that really doesn't hold up well. I think it's Mr. Nanny, you know, another Hulk Hogan movie. They Live, Roddy Piper. So, you know, Hollywood and wrestling have been, you know, working for a while now. Now you see some charismatic people like Liv Morgan, like Roman Reigns, like Cody Rhodes. They look like they're ready for the types of roles that Hollywood may be knocking on the door for them. You already have seen guys like Dwayne Johnson and Batista, the aforementioned Batista, and what they were able to do when given an opportunity to work in Hollywood. They've essentially taken over Hollywood, where, I mean, at least in the case of Dwayne Johnson, he's everywhere. And for Batista's range of acting, the way that he's able to tackle all of these different roles and do a really good job, at least for Batista, every time I have seen him in a movie, he has chewed the scenery. He's taken, I mean, I can't keep my eyes off of the way that he's acting in movies, from the Knives Out sequels to the Marvel movies to the Blade Runner movie, where he had a special role in that movie. I mean, Batista has been knocking it out of the park. He's been essentially batting over 500 when it comes to movies. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to start to see more of the professional wrestlers from either side, from AEW and from the WWE, start to do more movies. So if that is the case, and what we're also seeing is the bigger companies like the WWE and AEW gobble up more talent, what is that going to mean for professional wrestling going forward? I mean, you don't know if a bigger star is going to want to commit to being a top star in professional wrestling or go and be a Hollywood actor, with Hollywood being so wide open for acting and seeing the successors in like The Rock and Batista and everybody carrying it on the way that they're doing it. You got guys like Drew McIntyre, you got guys like you got people like Liv Morgan, you've got Tiffany Stratton, who could potentially start doing movies because she's got it. She's got the look, she's got the charisma and everything. I would see, I mean, Karrion Kross has a movie coming out, and I speak well of Karrion Kross all the time. I believe Karrion Kross, depending on how this movie goes, that he was producer of and has a major role in the movie, depending on how that goes, we might be seeing more of Karrion Kross in Hollywood, which I feel like that is a match made in heaven. His timing, his facial expressions, his ability to go from smiling to serious face, all of that stuff is just, it would be gold in Hollywood. So it would be interesting to see where that puts like the WWE and AEW when their major stars start getting more roles in Hollywood. I mean, you've already got the Hollywood film agents, the Hollywood agents that are knocking down the door of these professional wrestlers that are working with them. Barry Bloom, I believe, is a big agent of professional wrestlers and wrestling personnel alike. So this has been going on for a while, and I feel strongly that we may be seeing these things rev up in the future. But what do you guys think about this idea of professional wrestlers taking over, transitioning into Hollywood faster and really taking over Hollywood, with more wrestlers being in these roles, and not just these little bit parts, but actually starring in these movies? What are your guys' thoughts on that? If this Liv Morgan role has not been revealed yet at the time this video is out, Let me know where you think she's going to go as far as her next film role. They've been bigging this up. They've been really, really hyping this idea of where she's going to go up. If she goes to a big motion picture, is this the end of Liv Morgan's full-time role in the WWE? And other wrestlers, if they go to Hollywood, would we see less of them in a professional wrestling ring? You guys let me know in the comments. Thumbs up on the way out, you guys. I'd love to talk more about this if you're interested in me talking more about this. So hit a thumbs up, and don't feel too shy about hitting me up in the comments. Let me know how you feel about this. And as always, it's the Wrestling Old Head in the portal of pro wrestling. Stay tuned for more.